Hello everyone and welcome back. Over the past few weeks I've been working hard to finish the Gunsmith quests that grant you the class specific weapons. And as you can see here, I got a little impatient with the last one for the hand cannon, so I decided to finally dismantle my Word of Crota. It was one of my least favorite weapons from year 1, but I was just holding on to it for sentimental reasons. And finishing that quest finally got me the Ace of Spades, making my class weapons complete for both my Hunter and my Titan. So let's take a look at these weapons and what makes them so special. First up, let's take a look at FABIAN Strategy, the exotic auto rifle designed for Titans. The intrinsic perk is crowd control, and it's got smooth ballistics, CQB ballistics, and linear compensator, with the first perk being life support. Kills with this weapon while critically wounded have a chance to start regenerating health. The second column of selectable perks include extended mag, lightweight, and small bore. If I switch it back to lightweight for a moment, you'll see how much extra range and stability you actually gain from small bore, and it's definitely worth the dip and reload. And this weapon's exotic perk is front lines. This weapon has increased handling, stability, and rate of fire when enemies are close. As you can see from the perks, this weapon is definitely meant for those intense close quarters encounters. As an auto rifle in general, it's a pretty decent one. It's got fairly high impact and a decent rate of fire, all while maintaining a good reload speed. But the question is it worth your exotic slot? And I'm not so sure that it is. There are much better auto rifle choices out there, like the Zalo Supercell and even the Year 2 Suros regime. It definitely plays to the Titan's high armor stat, but I'm not so sure it's definitely worth the risk. The perks really aren't that amazing. I'm not a big fan of life support, as you can't really rely on it in any viable way. Next up for the Titan is the Amobius Shotgun. It's a legendary solar shotgun with average stats. It's got CQB ballistics, smooth ballistics, and aggressive ballistics. Its first perk is Surrounded. This weapon gains bonus damage when 3 or more enemies are in close proximity. It also has hand-loaded, field scout, and oiled frame. The nice thing about these selectable perks is that it plays really well into the final perk, Bouncer. Kills inside Ward of Dawn with Armor of Light do not expend ammo. It sounded like an interesting setup, so I decided to give it a go. And I have to say, it's not terribly bad. The only thing is that it's a very specific strategy that's often irresponsible to use. The issue I quickly came to encounter is that you can't really use this with Helm of Saint 14, as the enemies immediately want to leave your bubble. But the nice thing that I found out is that if you're quick, you can really do a lot of damage, and they won't really know what hit them. As you can see here, I put myself in a very intense situation and was pleasantly surprised with the outcome. The results were definitely interesting enough for me to want to level up this weapon. I still want to try it out in more situations to see how viable it can be as an everyday strategy. Moving on to my Hunter's weapons, we first have the Ace of Spades exotic hand cannon. The intrinsic perk is Third Eye. The sights include True Sight, Quick Draw, and Steady Hand iron sights, with the first perk being Firefly. Your next choices are high caliber rounds, perfect balance, and reinforced barrel. I decided to go for perfect balance to help in the stability department. And the last perk is Maverick. Precision kills move 1 round from your ammo reserves into the magazine. After testing it, I have to say that I'm pleasantly surprised with how well this gun performs overall. The gun is super stable and very satisfying to use. I really wish this was a legendary so I could equip it more often. And that really leads me into the issues that I'm having with this weapon. I was all about hand cannons. They were my weapon of choice in year 1. But for some reason in year 2, I hadn't found something that I really liked. And after doing these quests and getting kills with hand cannons, I started to realize why. And that's the fact that hand cannons aren't as amazing as they used to be. They simply don't do as much damage as they should for the amount of bullets that they have in the chamber. And this is evident in the symptom of me running out of ammo. I was really surprised to find myself running out of ammo multiple times during a normal heroic strike. If each bullet did about 25% more damage, we wouldn't have this issue. I really hope that Bungie realizes that they need to increase the base damage for hand cannons to make them more attractive. I generally find myself preferring scout rifles, and with auto rifles being as good as they are, hand cannons don't really have much of a place anymore, which is sad because they're definitely my favorite weapon type in the game. And last but definitely not least, we have Still Piercer, the Hunter exclusive Void legendary sniper rifle. Interestingly enough, the first choices are for ballistics, not for sights. This is something you typically see in an exotic sniper rifle. The first perk is Perfectionist. Magazine is refunded if all shots fired are precision kills, the same thing you'll find on Hereafter. Next choices are Snapshot, Custom Optics, and Oil Frame. The final perk is Self-Spotter, increased radar resolution when this weapon is equipped. I like this better than Amobius' final perk because it applies to every situation. It makes it so you don't necessarily have to have Keen Scout equipped, something you typically see in armor perks. The sniper rifle feels very good and feels very accurate. Perfectionist is definitely one of the more difficult perks to proc, but the weapon handling of this is very promising, almost to the point where I feel like it has a hidden Headseeker perk. Overall, I enjoy the Hunter weapons a lot more than I do the Titan weapons, but I think that's more because of my particular playstyle. Even when I play as a Titan, I prefer to play a little bit more conservatively and stand back. I feel like Amobius should have had a perk that worked better with Sunbreaker instead of Defender, but that's just wishful thinking.
It's done. The Brotherhood is broken.
What are your thoughts on the Hunter and Titan class weapons? And let me know if you have the Warlock weapons and how well they perform. Drop a like if you can, and subscribe for content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And until next time, I'll see you guys Starside.